The possibility that Roe v. Wade might be overturned is something that I had never really considered for most of my life and what that would mean to me.
So at the very beginning of April, I had some really severe acute abdominal pain in my lower right side. We thought it was maybe appendicitis. Went to the ER and we were there for about a period of 12 hours, and that resulted in them finding that I had an ectopic pregnancy, of which we were, previously unaware. I knew in that, moment that, ectopics are always not viable. It had to be removed.
I have a connective tissue disorder. And what that means is my connective tissues throughout my entire body are weaker than they should be. It affects my aorta, which is the main vein for the heart. Basically, your aorta can start to expand like a balloon, and it can get to the point where it can burst. If you don't die instantly, you can be transported to a hospital for emergency open heart surgery. The longer you wait in between the dissection occurring and getting some kind of treatment for it, you're freely bleeding into your chest. You're bleeding out within your body, and the chances that you will die just continue skyrocketing.
It's not like if, I was seeking an abortion for some non-medical reason where I have time to get across state lines. That's not an option when you have an ectopic that's started to rupture. That's something I had to be whisked into surgery within an hour.
Growing up, it was primarily an issue of not being able to play sports. I can't get hit in the chest with a ball or something. The pressures that pregnancy place on the body make a dissection a lot more likely. And I've always been very careful to not become pregnant. My husband and I use 2 different forms of birth control, but nothing's infallible.
It's going to really impact where my partner and I can move going forward. That ectopic pregnancy was my first pregnancy, and we are planning to have children down the road. So I can't move to a state where there's going to be any doubt as to whether or not I can receive care for an ectopic pregnancy, given that my chances of having a subsequent one are so high. And then I also can't move to a state that won't allow for me to seek, fertility or IVF treatment should I lose my left fallopian tube from a subsequent ectopic pregnancy.
When actually faced with the reality of possibly losing my life for a pregnancy, I don't want that. I don't want to risk that. I feel like my life, my personhood has more to offer than my pregnancy.
I'm sure this isn't the overwhelming majority of cases, but you are going to have women who will die as a result of anti-abortion legislation, whether it's because they weren't able to seek the care that they needed in time or they weren't able to seek it at all. And in what is a very, very political, contentious subject, you forget that there's real people, real women who are at the center of this.